So yeah, just a few additional points to my last video. So this call center I was working in was actually built inside a former prison. So it had that sort of vibe to it a little bit, like this old Victorian type prison. And one of the things there that was like particularly disturbing was, other than just the rules, was and the belief in the rules. Well, what was sort of disturbing about it, or disturbed people's minds, was the rotation. So the work rotation. So HR, um, they would basically, like, you'd get this printout for the next 6 weeks of your hours, right? And the only rule that was held to was that you had 8 hours in between every shift. That's it. So there's no pattern to your sleep. It's not like if you took a 2 week period of your work and you overlaid it all onto one day. If you get what I'm saying, there'd be no 1 hour where you'll always be asleep. Okay, so for instance, the first day you could, let's say you work midnight till 8. Okay, now it's possible 8 hours later, which would be 4 o'clock, you're working again. Okay. And then after that, you can be working anytime after. It could be 8 hours later, or it could be almost 24 hours later. So generally, your sleep is completely disturbed. There's no time where you're always working. Um, and it completely fucked people's heads up. I mean, particularly onto that, you could add overtime as well. I think in blocks of four hours or something. I think that might have been the rule. Like you could only do 12. I'm not sure. And so basically, what would happen is a lot of the people there had like anxiety problems and like mental issues because their sleep was completely disturbed. There was no rhythm that humans need in any way, if you know what I mean. Like, it's not like you're always going to be, maybe at least having 3 hours that you're always asleep regularly. It's like, no, like this day you're asleep at this time, the next day you're working at this time, the 2 days after that you're sleeping at that time, then you're working at that time. And obviously that fucks up your sleep and it's hard to get to sleep. And also, just, it's hard to describe, but call centers fuck up your head. And when it comes to the overtime as well, like I think the most I would ever do there is like 60 hours. But there's people doing way more, man. And like, I've done like lots of overtime in other jobs, like farms, driving forklifts. But they're like real jobs, if you know what I mean. Like you're doing something, it's real, like you're in the world. But answering telephones in an office all the time, it fucks with your head, especially with the whole sleep deprivation shit. Now imagine, and there was people there. There's one guy, he would been doing like 80 hours plus, and but imagine 80 hours, but with no like real rhythm of when you're sleeping. Completely fucked. This guy was fucking insane, right? But he had something like 45,000 saved up, and this is in the 90s, and he's trying to get to like 50K or 50 something K so he could buy a house that's worth 50K plus pay full out. There's my house, and he's close to it, and that's awesome. But and he'd done this just in a few years, right? But at what price? Like, he was either insane before he did this, or he was insane then. When I met him, it's like he'd lost it. Like, it just, it fucks your head doing this kind of job. Um, it's yeah, it's hard to describe unless you've done it. Like you can do 80 hours of any job really, and it can be hard, but it's doing 80 hours of a call center is just soul destroying. Now add on to that 80 hours at a call center where there's no pattern of sleep at all that exists, and you're gonna lose your mind. I'd seen it with one person that she started at the same time as me, and she was like cool and stuff, and I'd met her like I lasted 6 months, and a year and a half later I saw her, and like it fucked her head. Like you could tell it something had been taken from her. So I hope that like when she eventually left that job, it came back. You know, whatever had been sucked out of her. You know, I hope it comes back to all those people. You know, I think the worst thing that can happen is if those people end up in middle management and then they're lost forever. You know.